Friday, April 17th. We've just finished our Thetford Christians Together Zoom meeting. And as we were talking, and after the meeting had finished, I was thinking to myself, I'm so glad that I know Jesus. Because in the middle of this strangeness, knowing him, knowing he's there, knowing no matter how alone I am physically, he's there, he's with me, he is my friend, my guide, my brother, makes all the difference. And as David and I go to his dad's funeral on Monday, as ever, we realise that that difference can never be quantified. We couldn't be with David's dad at the end. We couldn't even see his mum after his dad passed. But when we go on Monday, even then, with 8 of us separated for social distancing, his dad's not there. His dad loved Jesus. His dad is with Jesus, and we will get to see him again. And that hope is such comfort. And then I found this reading that I'd like to share with you. Is it a true story? I don't know. But there's truth in it. Listen to this. A man's daughter had asked the local minister to come and pray with her father. When the minister arrived, he found the man lying in bed with his head propped up on 2 pillows, an empty chair beside the bed. The minister assumed that the old fellow had been informed of his visit. "I guess you were expecting me," he said. "No. Who are you?" said the father. The minister told him his name and then remarked, "I saw the empty chair and I figured you knew I was going to show up." "Oh yeah, the chair," said the bedridden man. "Would you mind closing the door?" Puzzled, the minister shut the door. "I have never told anyone this, not even my daughter. But all of my life I have never known how to pray. At church I used to hear the pastor talk about prayer, but it went right over my head. I abandoned any attempt at prayer," the old man continued, "until one day, 4 years ago, my best friend said to me, 'John, prayer is simple. It's a simple matter of having a conversation with Jesus. Here is what I suggest. Sit down in a chair, place an empty chair in front of you, and in faith see Jesus on the chair. It's not spooky because he promised, 'I will be with you always.' Then just speak to him in the same way you're speaking with me right now." So I tried it, and I've liked it so much that I do it a couple of hours every day. I'm careful though. If my daughter saw me talking to an empty chair, she'd either have a nervous breakdown or send me off to the funny farm. The minister was deeply moved and encouraged the old man to continue on the journey. Then he prayed with him, anointed him with oil, and returned to the church. Later, the daughter called to tell the minister that her dad had died peacefully that same afternoon. "Did he die in peace?" the minister asked. "Yes. When I left the house about 2 o'clock, he called me over to his bedside, told me he loved me, kissed me on the cheek. When I got back from the store an hour later, I found him dead." But there was something strange about his death. Apparently, just before Dad died, he leaned over and rested his head on the empty chair beside the bed. What do you make of that? The minister wiped a tear from his eye and said, I wish we could all go like that. I don't know how you talk to Jesus. I don't know how you're finding it in these days of isolation that we now know are to be extended. But it's such a comfort to know Jesus. And I pray with all my heart that you already know him, that you already talk to him, that you already sense his presence with you in everything that's happening right now. But if you don't know him, why don't you try it? Why don't you try finding an empty chair and imagine Jesus sitting there? Why don't you tell him how you're feeling? Whether you're happy, whether you're sad, whether you're angry, whether you're doubting, whether you're confused, just talk to him. On Monday, when we go to the funeral, I will be so glad to know Jesus as my Lord and Saviour. To know that Robin, David's dad, knew Jesus as his Lord and Saviour. And in the middle of this, I am so glad that Jesus is my friend and knows me. Let me read you some words from my favourite psalm, Psalm 18. I love you, Lord. You are my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress and my Saviour. My God is my rock, in whom I find protection. He is my shield, the power that saves me, and my place of safety. I called on the Lord, who is worthy of praise, and he saved me from my enemies. The ropes of death entangled me, floods of destruction swept over me. The grave wrapped its ropes around me, death laid a trap in my path. But in my distress, I cried out to the Lord. Yes, I prayed to my God for help. He heard me from his sanctuary. My cry to him reached his ears. That's the difference God makes. Jesus is only ever a prayer away. Talk to him today. Find that empty chair. Give thanks that he knows you with all your foibles, all your quirks. And all you need to do is talk to him. And he will hear and he will answer. That's my thought for today. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm just off to talk with someone in the empty chair.